Um, I just thought about something too. I know. I said I was gonna go for the rest of the day. I lied apparently. Um, like I said, I have a few more minutes. Oh, intros. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. First people come in, put a comment down so I can see that I'm being heard. Um, Bossed up broke. How did I not think about this before, right? We have an epidemic of bossed up broke black women, right? And this is not about me bragging or trying to make fun of black women or insult them. I'm gonna turn this car on so you're gonna hear a beep a little bit, y'all. Is it gonna beep? Oh, I'm surprised. Okay, it didn't beep. All right. Um, yeah. So we have an epidemic of bossed up broke women. So we understand that the what's the median income for women? Apparently now it's $34,000. That's a big jump from the number that I saw before, which was $25,000 as of 2019. But that's according to Google. Then there's other websites saying 34,000. So if it's let's go with that. Let's say it's 34,000. We know it's a little bit less for black women compared to the national median. So for black women, it could be anywhere, 30, 28, maybe 32, whatever. Okay, cool. We know that 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. We know that 60% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency, right? We know that, right? And Mark Holt, thank you very much. Thank you, Spain Man, for coming back up, man. Right? So we understand that. So if that's the numbers, right? 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And we know the median house was some 300 and something $1,000 last year, 350 at one point, and now I'm hearing it's damn near 400,000 or something. We know these things, right? We know that in LA, a rise of what they said 10% will knock out how many people from their apartments and stuff like that they wouldn't be able to afford. And we know that black women largely live on their own. So, where are all the bossed up women then? Right? If the top 1% of Americans have how much of the wealth, right? The top 20% of Americans have like 50% of the wealth, right? The top 20. Most black people don't occupy the top 20%. So my question is, where are all the bossed up women coming from? Where's this, I could do bad all by myself stuff coming from? This is not something to make fun of black women about, but didn't we know that black women on average have wealth of like $5? So where are all the baller black women coming from? A lot of this is inspired. I watched a clip from Lil Duval, and he played the clip that BGS played for us a couple months ago. Or was it Art Newstyle that played it in BGS, and us were making comments about it, where the sister, she looked like she might have been middle-aged black woman, and she's speaking about, essentially a situationship where you come in, you move in, y'all have sex, but you pay half of these bills, right? Like, and she sounds like she's in dire straits, right? She's in need, right? So Lil Duval, I guess he just now got a hold of that video, and he posted it, and I'm reading through the comments, and I'm thinking to myself, people are joking about it, and they're, sis, why don't you just Airbnb your extra room or whatever the hell, like they can't imagine being this bad. And like I keep on telling y'all, what they said, like 1/3 of young people under the age of 30 live at home, or was it was a high, it was a high low number, if that make any sense, right? It was some 20 something or a third, right, of young people under the age of 30 that live at home with their parents. And by the way, once again, Mr. Z didn't move out of his parents' house for a long time, right? And number one. Number two, I'm a black man born and raised in America, and I get it. And when me and my lady start looking for houses, we probably, yeah. I don't have a problem admitting to y'all. First of all, I'm Haitian descent, so parents don't really be trying to kick us out if we ain't bringing drama to the house anyway, right? Number one. Number two, I never looked at that as necessarily a bad thing, right? especially if you're saving for a greater goal, like you're not trying to be at your parents' house at 45. Now that's a whole different story, right? Especially if you're trying to save for a house and you are going to move out, that's different. But let's be very clear. That's the environment we're living in. So all this bossed up thing, and then do you want to be out of your parents' house at 25 years old, 24 years old, just to say you live on your own, just to have it as a bragging right? While you barely making it and you got none but ramen noodles in your cabinet, right? Just so you can say you have a place of your own? I don't know. Maybe, hey, I get it. We all adult differently, right? We all adult differently. I get it. But remember, Mr. Z was one of the first people in this space to tell y'all could kiss that 18 and out the door thing out. Y'all could kiss that goodbye. For most Americans, that was a window, and that window's pretty much gone now. Hey, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. I know. Mr. Z's not supposed to, mess with y'all whole concept of adulting, right? And your child out the door at 18 and they don't ever move back. Yeah, that's out the window. Don't worry. I tell my coworkers that in real life, by the way. Mr. Z ain't just telling y'all something online that I don't be saying in real life. Right? So, back to the subject at hand. This boss girl thing, because you see this all over the interwebs. Everybody's speaking like black women got it all together, like women got it all together. And like, how false is that, especially when you look at the numbers in general? Women demanding that men make about 58% more than them, so 60% more than them, while being boss chicks. So people under the age of 30 are living at home more and more, except for black women, right? Y'all boss broke. Y'all boss stub broke. Y'all got a couple of $1,400, $2,000 bags, maybe a red bottom or two, right? Y'all got y'all baby Benz, but then when we follow you, you going back to mom's house. Which is understandable. Once again, I understand. But stop with all the arrogant talk then. Right? Your boss broke. You could spend money the way you're spending it. You could save money the way you're saving it because you're living at home with your parents or with a relative or with a sibling. Which, once again, I understand. I'm a black man born and raised in America. But then you don't get to shame black men, right? For being your brothers and being in a similar situation. It reminds me, I don't know if any of you saw this video. It was on Instagram. And it was an African sister. And she was talking about, oh, ain't nobody. She was like, she turned on a Nigerian accent for part of her commentary. And she was speaking about essentially nobody wanted to be married for love and who married for love anyway. And how her people would, like, how her mom would get on her if she married for love. And it's all about the money and blah, blah, blah. And if you looked in the background, you could tell from the scenery, she's not at her place. She's in her parents' home talking all that. You could see the family picture in the background. You could see the staircase in the background. You know she's not in her place talking like that. There's a whole lot. I think even Danica Marie covered this. There's a whole lot of y'all talking real reckless, living at home with your parents. I kind of touched on this a little bit before, right? There's a whole lot of people talking real reckless boss moves and all this money moves and all this business talk and all this, and you living at home with your peoples. But namely the women, talking about what you not gonna settle for, and you living at home with your parents and with your siblings and with your relatives, with your aunt and them, with your grandma. You're doing the female version of couch surfing. See, men, we just call it couch surfing. But because you're a woman, they might give you your own room at your grand's house or your aunt's house. But you're couch surfing. Right? It's understandable. We know what society we live in. We know what inflation is like. We know what the economy is, especially if you're a millennial or Gen Z. We get it. But you boss broke. You might have a degree, maybe not. Right? You making some 30 something, 40 something $1,000 a year. You all right. But you still have 40, 50, $60,000 of student loan debt. You barely financing that baby Benz, that Benz CLA that you got. Or that Beamer 2 Series that you have. Or maybe you got a 3 Series, maybe, right? That Audi A3 that you have, maybe you got an Audi A4, maybe. Secondhand, most likely. You ain't get that shit new. You might got a couple dollars in your savings account, mainly because you ain't paying your student loan bill. Oh, I'm describing y'all. I just described a bunch of y'all sisters them. I just described a couple of y'all nieces. Right? I just described a bunch of y'all cousins. We see her on the street, we gawk at her. She's cute. She got her nice heels on. She got the form-fitting, if she go into the office, she got the form-fitting pants on, or she got the form-fitting dress on or skirt on. Looking nice. Hopping out her little 2 Series, her little 3 Series. $60,000 in student loan debt. And whenever y'all want to do something, y'all got to go get a telly. Because you definitely can't go back to her place because she live at home with her parents. And you might live at home with your parents. It's understandable. But you not talking this boss move talk. She is. She is. A lot of broke boss people out here. Right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. A lot of broke boss people out here. It reminds me of some of the stuff that me and shout out to Shay Sade say when we talk about the swirlers and divestors. When we're like, let me get this right. The marriage rate is going down. It's at a 150-year low. But somehow, black women's interracial marriage rate is going to go up while the marriage rate is going down. So white men are going to not want to marry white women, but they're going to marry you? What? And that's the same thing we're saying about this. Like, okay, you got video after video of women and men speaking about the struggle, right? You got this quiet quitting thing going on right now. People are complaining about inflation and gas prices and stuff, right? Everybody's saying hold down to your hats for wintertime, right? The economists, the sociologists are all speaking like with all the craziness going on, and somehow the majority of black women are making boss moves. So all of a sudden, black women ain't black no more, so they not broke for the most part no more. They all upper middle class and rich, right? They all making power moves. Y'all living like Sex in the City. Y'all going out for brunch and drinking mimosas and day partying, right? Popping bottles in VIP at nighttime. Yeah, that's what y'all doing, right? Where did all of these boss people come from? These these women ballers. The median income for women somewhere with between 25 and $34,000 a year, but yet black women are balling out of control. How? Right? How? You go on you go on Instagram, it's just picture and video after video and picture after picture and video after video of all these nice restaurants and these, you know, fancy dining and nice tellies and them taking pictures in front of expensive cars, and you like, but so where are the average and broke people at? Especially for the women. What? The article didn't come out that long ago that said black women got wealth of $5. That didn't come out 30 years ago. So where the regular and average black women are? Where are they? Juliet, where art thou? Right? I know how it really goes, everyone. I know. All these ballers, where, and then you wonder why y'all be on antidepressant pills when you're in your 40s. When you're in your 40s and 50s. Mr. Z knows the social landscape. I make videos about the social landscape. I research this. I listen to this stuff ad nauseum. I'm not one of these other content creators that's just gonna give y'all rage porn. That's gonna give y'all some weird aspirational stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about some of our dreams and aspirations and what we're doing to work towards them. I'm not against that. I'm not against people having aspirations. I'm against turning that into a religion and being fanatical about it and being demeaning and insulting to other people because of it, and then being delusional. Right? All these boss people, where are all these boss people coming from? What's inflation? They say it's 8%, but it feel like 20%. Right? It's 8%, but it feel like 20%. I'm in a pretty okay part of town right now. I don't see a bunch of Benzes and stuff passing me right now. And most of these folks is white folks. Right? I don't see a bunch of 60, 70, $80,000 cars passing me right now. So black women want to tell me that the one group of people somehow that defy all the odds in America, and they all bosses making boss moves. right? When the lady speaks about a pretty much overtly transactional relationship she wants, you got so many of them in the comments under Little Duval's video speaking about, oh, well, how many of these people are in relationships just like that? Y'all think y'all in love. Y'all not really in love, boy. Y'all, that ego protection, boy. Because y'all feel just like her. Y'all just say make the video. Y'all feel just like her. Y'all just ain't make the video. You want to move out of your parents' house. You're 32. You're 33. You want to call up that dude that used to like you and was drooling over you 3, 4, 5 years ago and be like, you know what? Let's make a deal. You want to do it. Your pride won't let you. You don't want to tell him, oopsies, my bad. Your pride won't let you. You're afraid that he moved on to bigger and better things. You're afraid that he might say no. And you just don't want him to have that one up on you. And remember, you're the one who called me with the deal. So you continue to post pictures of the 1 or 2 times a month you go to a restaurant with your girls and spend money you probably shouldn't be spending at that restaurant. Or that date that you went out with the dude and he trying to splurge and show off. So now you get to take pictures and make it seem like you used to this. Doesn't that remind you of when women were doing the whole Beyonce, I woke up like this? Bitch, you got makeup on. You woke up with makeup on? All that ego protection. Making boss moves. I woke up like this. This is how we party. So many people fretting and flogging. And then you get to a point where you can't anymore. And here go the antidepressant pills. That ego protection is real as hell, ain't it? Boss moves. What boss moves? I'm a black man born and raised in America. I'm in my mid-30s. And I ain't never seen so many fake bosses in my life. Boss moves. I'm not a boss, so I don't know what boss moves look like. Somebody could maybe describe it to me. What do boss moves outside of work look like? Are you trying to start a business? I mean, like, right? Are you doing something in your garage or in your parents' garage, maybe? Right? You got your own little, you know, pre-Microsoft thing going on. Right? You're about to be Amazon when it blows up thing going on. Right? Thinking of a master plan. You thinking of a master plan? You working on a master plan? That's why you say you making boss moves? Because anything short of that, and if you're not a boss at work, then what do you really mean? What, the one time you get to splurge every couple months? And once again, that's mainly because you're not paying all, you don't have the full brunt of all the bills that you would be paying if you were paying all your bills on time. That's your car note. That's your car insurance. That's all the utilities. That's an apartment or a house or a condo, right? That's your student loan bill. That's everything. And I'm still missing things. Your life insurance, if that's not attached to your job, all of it. every month, not skipping one, and then still having money to save and still having money to live out until your next pay period. That's separate from the save money, by the way. Boss moves. Is this another coping mechanism? Is this another little cutesy catchphrase that we throw out to make ourselves feel better about whatever we're living? Or is this us, projecting what we hope we would be doing or living? Is this us fronting for social media or for our in real life circle? The people that always look like they doing something, they always look busy, but they really not that busy. They work a normal, regular 9 to 5 like everyone else. Get caught up in traffic like everyone else, going to work, coming from work. But if you check their social media, they always make it seem like they way more important than they actually are, and they're doing way more than they actually are. Right? I'm from the city of fakers and floggers. Outside of maybe New York and LA, I'm from the city of fakers and floggers. I'm from the city of $1,500 luxury car rentals a night. From $2,000 luxury car rentals a night. I'm from that city. So I could smell them. I'm from the city of scammers. Scam gods. Both women and men from all different backgrounds and races. Like I said, the only places that might have us beat is New York and LA. So all this boss move talk, meh. Mainly ego protection. Mainly this is what the cool thing is to say. You got to project like you're really making big moves. Right? I think and so far I am. Is that what we're saying? I think I'm a boss, so I'll be a boss. Or I think I'm a boss, so I am a boss. Right? It's weird. It's like we're dealing more and more with like a societal psychosis. Right? Particularly in the black community, but even outside of the black community. Like, it's interesting watching people's coping mechanisms. And even critiquing yourself and see what you do as a coping mechanism or what you say as a coping mechanism for your day-to-day 9 to 5 grind. How you hype yourself up or make yourself feel like you're more important. Or like you're doing something greater or grander in life. And some of us are. And some of us are destined for greatness. And some of us are working towards that. But a lot of us are just regular smegular people. That's okay. Regular smegular people make the world go around. I mean, like, for real though, they really do. It's interesting watching people that don't critique some of the dominant narratives that's coming from the top to the down, right? That's trickling down. And you see them adopt it and then they start speaking that way. And you hear this boss move talk. First of all, the Meek Mill's Ross song "I'm a Boss" came out how long ago? Y'all still talking like this? Let it go. All right. The same people oftentimes that create and consume the content about "I don't dream of labor," right? And consume and admit that they're doing the quiet quitting thing at work oftentimes are the same people that, if you check their social media, they're speaking like this: "I'm making boss moves," right? "Heavy is the head that wears the crown" type comments, right? "I'm a builder, he's a builder, we could build together. He just don't got enough ambition up for me. He look like they want to stay stagnant." What? Right? Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. You boss broke. It's okay. A nice chunk of Americans are broke. You ain't by yourself. You're not alone. It's okay. They're there. Right? Could you do something different and be better? Maybe. Right? But is a lot of this systemic? Yeah. But it's really hard to have that conversation when you're talking about you boss broke. Right? Well, I'm sorry. I'm saying your boss broke. I said this wrong. You're just saying you're a boss. You running things, you doing things. So where are all the people that's making $35,000 and less a year then? If we all bosses, then where are all the broke people coming from? So where are these numbers coming from? It's like when you have the conversation with a person, and we're real data heavy over here, right? So it's like when you have a conversation with a person and you start doing averages and medians and numbers, and you're like, well, the median income don't say that. Well, the interracial marriage rate don't say that. Well, the savings rate don't say that. Well, this don't say that. And the person say, well, from my experience, the conversation's going nowhere once a person does that. Well, my friend circle, well, no one I know. Oh boy, here we go. No one I know is struggling. Well, from my experience, well, all the people I know, well, all my friends, well, I don't hang around with people like that. I don't know people like that. So you don't know anyone that's not a boss? Let's just sit with that right now. You're a black person in America and you don't know anyone that's not a boss. You don't know anyone that's not running things. You don't know anyone living paycheck to paycheck. You don't know anyone struggling. This boss move talk have a whole lot of people looking real Foolish, right? Looking real foolish. And let me we'll cover this back in a let's take a few minutes to finish what I was saying earlier before the phone call with white men and the black manosphere and our elders and our the forefathers of this space and how they came to create this space. I wanted to be very clear why it's black men that are leading the way and why Kevin got so big and why we're the ones that's built for this. It's the same reason why, excuse my language, why niggas run the NFL. And excuse me again, because we're the monsters you created. You did the genetic engineering. And that's why we run the NFL. Oops, you're bad. You created the environment. And that's why our women sound the way they do. But then that's the reason why your women sound the way they do increasingly. And that's why white women sass is a joke to the average black man. It just is. It's elementary, like I said before. Because of the fire that we live in every day. Right? I wanted to emphasize for younger white men who may not know, they probably do, but may not know, that your forefathers and your ancestors used to laugh at my ancestors. They laughed when they saw Keisha cursing them out, cursing black men out. They encouraged Keisha. They put microphones and cameras in her face just so she could talk crazy about black men. They helped her to write books. They helped her, right? They brought her on talk shows. They interviewed her. They give her grants and loans and scholarships just to belittle black men. They pushed her to get into politics. They pushed her onto television to be news anchors and commentators and pundits. And now slowly, just inch by inch, you just feel a little bit of it. Just a smidge, just a teeny tiny bit of it. And you're losing your crap because you thought it wasn't going to happen to you. Not the omnipotent white man. Oh no, he's immune. You thought you were immune. To all the young white men, your ancestors and forefathers thought you would be immune. They didn't think this was going to happen to you. They thought this would be sequestered off into the black community. Right? Now your sisters and your nieces, right? Your girl cousins walking around academia with purple hair, cursing you out, calling you all type of misogynists, pushing you out of college. Right? Like I said before, that's why you're running to Latin America. That's why you're running to Asia, right? That's why you're running to Eastern Europe, because your forefathers and ancestors created an environment that you can't barely breathe in anymore. You merely adopted the dark, and you could still barely see in it. I would say that and look down and see Charles just jumped in the comments, right? Rolo won't tell you that. Those other white manosphere guys won't tell you that. They won't tell you half the reason why you're in the position, not half, but much of the reason why you're in the position you're in. It's because their generation and older encouraged other women from other communities to act a fool. And then those women were trading notes with white women. And now white women are on your ass. Right? I'm glad BGS said it. I've said it. For those of you that remember me saying it on Roger's show. And I got a lot of pushback when I said it. Right? Becky is jealous of Keisha's freedom. Keisha's jealous of Becky's access and wealth and status as a white woman. And Becky is jealous of Keisha's freedom. She want to sass her man and talk to him all type of crazy too. And little by little, she's increasing it. She's doing it. It's not all white women. It may not even be most, but it's a significant minority. It's a significant minority. Right? Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. You told black men to shut up about our issues, about race, because all women are the same, but clearly not. Because clearly not. Because all men of color were telling you that women of color are throwing you, Mr. Omnipotent white man, in our face whenever we get into a conversation or a discussion. And you couldn't really say the same. White women are not throwing black men in white men's face. You knew what this was. You pretended like you didn't know. Right? You pretended like you didn't know. But like I told y'all previously, get some drinks in white men and they start spewing everything. Many white men, not all. As I said before, the insecurity part comes out, but the arrogant part come out too. The I know because I'm a white man, I know. And this is not even lead on questions and statements. They start divulging shit if you just let the conversation flow. If you direct the conversation in a certain direction and then let them go, you'll start hearing it. White men's biggest fear is that they'll just be reduced down to men and not white men. They don't want to know what it feels like just to be men. right, get no special nothing for being white men. Not in America and not overseas. They don't want to know what that feel like. And so they dismiss your plight. But when it bites white men in the rear end. When he thought he had a hold on Keisha and he marries her and then she pull a Keisha on him. Huh. Right? It's a sad thing to see. Right? But back to what we were saying about this boss broke and rich broke and, right? The richest broke people in the room. Maybe it's just an American trait that in the black community we took a little too seriously. And then black women took it way, way too seriously. The poker face type of thing where, you know, I don't want to feel like I'm broke even though I really am. So I keep on speaking like I'm not. And I might have one, two nice things. So I emphasize those. Like I said, that one pair of red bottoms, that one $1,200, $2,000 bag, or fake Louis bag. By the way, y'all, some of these fakes are still expensive. The real bag is $2,000. The fake one is $200. The fake one is $300. The fake one is $500. Ask your lady if I'm lying. My bad, y'all. The guy see me in the car and he's still passing by with the leaf blower. Right? This rich broke thing. I don't even know if it would be that bad if you didn't then hold people to an artificial standard because you keep on thinking you bought into the idea that you have when you don't. As I said before, you're not even paying all your bills and on time. So you get to live life on a discount, essentially. So you get to act like you have boss stuff and you making boss moves. But that's because you haven't felt the full brunt of adult. Right? Let me read some of you guys' comments. It's all right, Mr. Z. We could barely hear the leaf blower. Thanks, Indigo. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Trell Bentley says, sometimes you just got to be the guy where they don't see you as black. They'll spill the beans. I'm telling you, man. The way I speak has gotten me through a lot. And it's lowered a lot of white people's guards. Especially when you couple the way I dress. Especially when I was working at the law office and whatnot. And you go to happy hour on Fridays and y'all just talk. And it's like, whoa. Right? You'll be surprised how many things are confirmed to you that you thought. And once again, it's not lead on questions or like lead on comments. These are not like wigger type of black people. These are the wigger type of black people. Well, wigger type of white people. No, these are your run of the mill, plain Jane, white men, white women. Dating, married to, in relationship with, having sex with other white people. And you'll be surprised the type of info they just spill out. Sometimes as a side comment, sometimes in direct conversation, sometimes just because you're in the proximity of them, you get to hear things, right? And that's why sometimes it's like you hear black people say things about these other communities and you wonder where the hell they get these things from. Y'all remember Mr. Z's in South Florida? Whenever I hear people speak about the Latino community and like this kind of kumbaya thing they think they got going on, I'm like, where? They was about to have World War III over Trump this previous election. There were damn near fights in these people's homes about Trump. What kumbaya? Even in the white homes between the white women and the white men when it came to Trump. Right? When you don't really understand class and you don't understand your average white person don't got it the way you think they got it. They might still have more than black people on average. Now that's true. Now that's true. But they don't got what you think they got though. Because there's a class compression in the black community, we forget that don't really exist outside of the black community that way. These other people aren't lumped in the same exact way as the black community. So when the black people oftentimes describe other people, you're describing their top 20% and then you're comparing all of black people to the top 20% of white people or the top 20% of Asians, right? Or the top 20% of the Latin American community, which once again, like 80% of Latinos are like Mexican or like some type of Central American descent. But yet the faces and the people that run and own things is pretty much white Cubans and like a couple of Venezuelans and Argentinians. But y'all wouldn't know that because y'all don't really, right? Right? Like your average Latino in America looks like Mario, right? Looks like your indigenous dude that speaks Spanish. But that's not the power structure of the Latino community though. Speak to some of the brothers that live in South Texas. That's your average Latino looking dude. But how often do you see him represented in Latino media? Right? That's how I know. You'll be surprised some of the things you learn when you speak to people and they start divulging information to you. That's why once again, when we talk that swirler divester stuff, I'm like, y'all don't really know what y'all talking about. Y'all don't. You got one or two white or Latino dudes at your job gassing you up because they want to smash, and you really don't really know what's going on. You think that's white men. That's not white men. It's a handful of white dudes, mainly liberal white dudes that want to smash. Right? So you think it's a thing. And then you look at the tiki torch dudes in Charlottesville, and that's your typical white dude. Yep, with the comb over and all, young white dudes, and y'all didn't know what to do. But when you live in a constant state of delusion, what do we expect? I mean, you're already doing the boss broke thing. It ain't too many leaps to completely ignore history and societal norms and start doing and acting the way you do now, right? Don't let me know. Like the brother said, don't let me know. Y'all don't really know what's going on. We do in this space. Shout out to Jadzilla. What did Charles say? It's because they didn't want to share power. They'd rather give it to women than to see a black man on equal footing. Yeah, I think the whole entire country is in cahoots against black men, to be honest. Charles is right about that. The whole entire country. And that's cool. But there's consequences that come with that. So eat those consequences. You sabotage yourself too, right? You sabotage yourself in the long run, so eat that. And even for the women, it sounds good until it's time to get married and everybody start playing musical chairs. Like I said, it sounds good until it's time to get married, and then women. I said that wrong. It sounds good it sounds good until it's time to get married, and women start playing musical chairs. Hmm? See, giving a leg up to women sounds good until it's time to have children and get married. Right? And then that Chris Rock quote comes true where it's nothing drive the vagina like having to open your wallet up, having to spend some money, having to open her purse, right? Trell Bentley says Becky wants to be like Sapphire and Keisha wants to be Miss Anne. True. True. Indigo Flow says, and Keisha acts like she did it all on her own, and why can't we get it together? That's the game. It's interesting because those same people throw that whole privilege line to you, how does it go again? When you're used to privilege and we ask for equality, it's like it's like an attack or something along those. I'm butchering the quote, right? But y'all get it. And these same people ignore or hope that you don't know how much they've been privileged by the system, right? Like we saw it. Like, isn't that what Miss Bayings did on the Foxhole, right, interview? And Paris Milan, when I was having a conversation with her, like I told y'all months ago, she did it also. They weaponize intersectionality against black men. They weaponize concept of, well, I'm a black woman and look at where I am. Why can't y'all be here? And there we go. Forget that leg up. Forget those 3 or 4 steps that somebody else looked out for us. Forget all of that. Or the whole system looked out for us. Forget all of that. Look at where we are. Why aren't you here? Which is a good rhetorical weapon until it's time to get married and have kids. It sounds good. Thanks, Jadzilla. Jadzilla says you putting in work this morning. Tried that with methamphetamine, amnia. I see. Oh yeah, no, no, it's not. I'm not on anything. I'm not on anything. I actually, man, I really am not a. I hate taking anything, pills for anything. It'd be a small. I haven't taken like. When's the last time I took anything for a cold? Anything for anything? I don't take pills for anything, man. I gotta be damn near on my deathbed. Knock on wood. I'm inclined not to trust anyone that refers to themselves as a boss. I mean, it's to me, it's like it's getting into that cringy territory. First of all, who's still saying that in 2022? I mean, I get it, right? Capitalism is in a really weird place right now, and like we're grasping at straws, and like everybody. You remember, like I said on the video, like when the gig economy first really started rolling, and I make my own thing, I drive Uber, and like everybody making it seem like it's some boss thing. Like, yeah, I do my little thing on the side. I got a little side hustle. Like, we still using the term side hustle. It's slowly starting to die out. It's slowly dying out. I don't hear it as much now as I did like 3 years ago, right? But I think that's our way of coping with like the fact like these people have pulled the rug from under you, and like a 40-hour work week isn't enough anymore. So like now we're talking about these boss moves and needing to be an entrepreneur, right? And like I said to y'all before, I know y'all remember the times when even in the black manosphere, we were talking like if you're not working a 9 to 5, and then you don't got a little side hustle, then you're not trying to start your own business and blah blah blah, then you deserve what you get. I know we don't want to have that conversation. It was being said in these spaces. Let me take that back. Don't put words in people's mouths. It was being implied or suggested in these spaces that even if a cop goes all the way, you know what I mean by all the way. Well, if you wasn't the top-notch working 70 hours a week type dude, then maybe you deserved it. Right? If your woman took you for half or all in divorce, maybe you deserved it. Maybe if you were making more and working harder, maybe that wouldn't have happened to you. Don't act like y'all didn't hear what I was hearing. Maybe not on this side of the black manosphere, but don't act like y'all didn't hear what I was hearing. Right? So yeah, that boss talk, it's been cringy for a while. It's been cringy for a while. Indigo Full says, Mr. Z, what saved money? Exactly. I saw a little clip of that, so let me read that comment. Spainman said, anyone see the video of the chick acting unimpressed? Her dude dropped 23K on her for her B-day. But that speaks back to like what Nameless says, is like when the 1 and the 99 become the 50, right? When the 1% and the 99% become the 50. It just becomes average. Social media has really, like, I'm not even going to blame this on just the general media, right? I blame that in particular on these fake ass reality TV shows. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of Orange County, and all these other things, and social media. Not just general media, but social media and those fake ass reality TV shows have really done a number on people, but in particular women. And in the black community, because most of us are dating and marrying black women and having sex with black women. Which goes back to our talk about all this boss talk and all this other stuff. They can't distinguish reality from fiction anymore. $23,000. People don't know like what $23,000. In the grand scheme of things, is $23,000 a lot of money? No. But no, like, I can't tell you how many people do not have $23,000 liquid. Like, nobody has $23,000 liquid, yo. Like, no one. When I say no one, I mean like really like 80-90% of American population do not. They can't pull $23,000 out of their account right now and give it to you. That's what we mean by liquid. Literally, it's not in their house. It's not they gotta go sell a car or something like that, or borrow it, or maybe they have super good credit and they got a credit line for $50,000. They could go swipe. No, $23,000 sitting in their account right now. To act unimpressed that somebody just handed you $23,000 is just, unless you're one of Jay-Z's kids or Rev Run's kids, right? You Angela Simmons or something, right? You one of T.I.'s kids or Snoop's kids, right? One of Jordan's children, one of LeBron's children, right? Master P them kids, Timberland. If you're one of them, even then you can't. If I'm your father, you can't turn your nose up at me. If I'm your boyfriend, you can't turn your nose up at me. But it's a bit more understandable, right? It's a bit more understandable. But if you're a regular person, you're a regular chick, and I'm dating you, or we're in a relationship, or we're even married, and I hand you 23,000 and you turn your nose up at that, oh, it's over. That relationship's done. That's done. That's done. There's no salvaging that. That's done. Right? And they go sit mad credit card debt taken from their pension. I know. And that was actually part of the clip, one of the clips that I played when I played the Big Bank Takes Little Bank, my stream a few days ago on Sunday, when the lady was like, people can't believe, like, no way it's only this much to be in the top 20%. And she had to go through it, but she knew she was going to get that comment, right? And she said, like, that's because people are financing everything in their life. That's why you don't think people are as broke as they actually are. Right? That's why. Mr. Z came in the door and had no shame telling y'all, I'm a regular smegular worker. Right? I got a sweet deal on the Z. I took a loan out for it. I'm paying it off. But I do have money in savings. I had way more in savings, right? Mrs. Z don't got no problem telling y'all that, because I'm not fronting, right? Like, share, and subscribe for the not fronting. Hit the super chat for the not fronting. But I'm not fronting, right? People got massive credit card debt. You're right, Indigo. Massive credit card debt. That's the only reason they have the things they have. But then they're talking down on others and talking down to others. It's insane. It really is. D. Scott said Hyundai, more like a 03 Kia Rio. Bro. True too, by the way. True too. Absolutely. That's the flip side. You're right. That's the other side of the coin. That's the other half. So many of them driving around with a Benz they could barely afford. Right? They 2 months behind. But on the other side are the ones talking this boss talk thing, but they driving around in a '05 Corolla. Which, by the way, is okay. I mean, the Corolla is probably going to last you forever. It's going to keep on going. Right? I understand most people aren't, automobile enthusiasts like me. They're not car people like me. It's understandable. But you're not driving it because you want to drive it. You're driving it because you have to and you can't afford something else. That's okay. But then stop talking all this boss move talk and then condescending down to men, namely black men. Because you driving a '05 Corolla and he's driving a 2006 Maxima or something, and you think you got the unmitigated gall to talk down to him. He's driving a hand-me-down F-150 from his dad, and you think you got the rights to condescend down to him. When it was your grandfather that fronted you the money to even get that old-ass Corolla in the first place. Right? Or you and your mom went half and half to get that Nissan Sentra in the first place. We got to start being more honest about our money situation. And this goes back to politics too. If we were more honest about our money situation, maybe you could push for more equitable income or whatever the hell. Maybe you would know better than to scoff at the Chris Smalls of the world and his unionizing efforts. Because you would be more honest about your financial situation. So, yeah, this delusion, yeah, it goes right into politics also. It goes right into community. Well, we know it goes into community. But it don't just stay in community. It goes into politics also. Right? Okay, let me go back down and read some of your comments. Not fronting. Thanks, Indigo Flow. Now, thank you for being here higher. Right? Indigo Flow said, little Spanish-speaking Native Americans. Bro, for real. What is his name? It's one of the Latino dudes that be with Anna Kasparian sometimes. His face is right there. But I forgot his name. And he went over it. He was like, you know, like this kind of camaraderie that people think like there's this big Latino community. It's really not what y'all think it is. And Radical Latino pretty much told y'all that too. Right? Juan Carlos can trace his heritage back to the conquistadors, right? He called the ancient dishwashers Indigo Flow hysterical. Yes. Indigo Flow says, no discussion on social dominance theory to be found. They love to tout that double minority status. Yeah. Only to use it as a backwards. They're using it as a weapon, as a tool, right? Like I've said this before. They're trying to enter the house of power through the back door. And that's why the conservatives turn around and that's why they have a problem with social justice warrior and stuff like that, because to a certain extent they see it for what it is. Now, I do have an issue with turning social justice warrior into a pejorative, but I understand why they're doing it, right? Because it is a way of backdooring your way into the house of power, right? You're using this double minority thing. You're using intersectionality to beat up on people legitimate gripe with some of the things you might say or do as an individual or as a group. So you use this, I'm black and I'm a woman, or I'm black and I'm a woman and LGBTQ, or I'm black and LGBTQ as like this kind of bulletproof vest where you don't get to critique me because you're a man, Mr. Man. Right? She used her tax refund for half the down payment. Hey, I mean, a lot of people do that, but yeah. Yep. A lot of people do that when it comes to their vehicles and when it comes to different major purchases. They would have never been able to do that without that tax return in January, February, March, right? Like I said, we just got to be more honest about the money thing. This boss move talk. Are there real bosses in the black community? Of course, duh. Legitimate ones? Yes. Really making boss moves? Yes, I've met them. I've worked with them. I've done business with them. Yeah, you heard right. I've worked with a woman boss making boss moves with a man boss. In the black community, both of them black. Right? Most people ain't moving like that. Not that fake busy thing. No, most people are not moving like that. And quite frankly, most people don't want to, you don't want to move like that. Unless you have it in you, unless it's something that you're aspiring to, there's something you're trying to do, or there's some type of goal, there's something that's really in you. Y'all don't want them hours, bro. Y'all don't want those phone calls. You don't want to always be on call for whatever business it is because business people are technically always on call. Right? All these people talking boss moves they don't know the first thing about nothing about being no boss. Maybe a boss at work, that's understandable where you directing people, but there's still this overarching kind of structure in place that you even work for. That's understandable. But boss moves like your own business or your own organization, yeah, nah. Y'all can't even get y'all kids right. You think you could manage a team of 6, 7, 8 people, adults? 10, 15, 20 adults? Nah. Your own children don't want to be around you when they become grown. And you think you can manage 15, 20 other adults. Yeah, not happening. Trell Bentley said, "Oh man, I'm not a boss, but I'm technically always on call." I mean, I told y'all I work. Well, I told y'all I work for some major shit. Let's just say you're not the only one who's technically always on call. Technically, right? Not really, but kind of, and it's in my job description. So yeah, right. But yeah, I'm convinced people don't know what they're saying. They're just using these weird boss babe, boss moves, boss this. You don't really know what you're saying or the weight of your words. Maybe that's part of the postmodern kind of society where words don't have any meaning. So we just throw it out. Or maybe it's a mixture of that and also just in black culture how we use words and remix them and give them meaning and strip meaning even more than other people that speak English. Maybe the black American community does this in a way that just others don't. So now when we say boss, it really don't mean anything. It just mean you're, I guess, somebody notable, noteworthy, or I don't know. The VO. So yeah, that's what we're saying. Half of these chicks are broke. People like the idea. Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, we were saying half of these people are broke. I know accomplished women who don't really got money like that. So I know the rest of them don't. I know accomplished black women that really don't got money like that. They're making okay money, some 40, 50 grand a year, right? But they don't got money like that. And the ones that's making 40, 50,000 dollars a year, unless they've been on their job for a minute, that means they got student loan debt. And ain't no $20,000 student loan debt either. They're making 40, 50, 60 grand a year, $65,000 a year. They got real student loan debt. Ask them how much that student loan debt costs a month. I dare you. Right? Oh crap, I think I just seen a smoke bomb go off, y'all. Something's in the mist right now, something in the shadows. I don't know if y'all see that. A couple of ninja stars just got stuck in a tree somewhere. Oh crap, it's Nameless. What's going on, Nameless? The Nameless protagonist is in here. Talking to a PhD, got the dog, the place, and overweight. I'm saying. Serious though. I'm saying. Right? For those of you that just came in, I'm gonna give it a few more minutes, but we're talking, well, I deviated for a little bit. I continued when my last stream from a little while ago, where I was essentially telling white men, yeah, the black manosphere is here because y'all are racist as hell. And on this video, I'm just speaking about people with this boss talk, namely the women, this boss talk, and really they boss broke. And like the video said, they like the idea of being bosses, but they couldn't hack it. Because how many of us really want that life? Long nights, worried about the rent for your space, because y'all do know they rent the spaces, right? Okay, I'm just saying. Nobody owns those buildings. Like very, very few people own the building out of which they operate their business, unless the business is owning the building, right? So you got to worry about that. You got to worry about whatever inventory or whatever the hell you got going on, right? Customers stealing from you, employees stealing from you, people you're working with stealing from you or trying to gyp you, right? Payroll, right? If you're big enough, life insurance, all of that. Y'all don't want that. Kareen says, no student loans here, LOL. Unfortunately for me, went to city school for the last 3 years of college, went to private school, but it was too much, so transferred to city school. Smart. Because a lot of people would have stayed in that private school so they could have bragged about going to private school. And here you are, debt-free. Detroit says, most of them women work at downtown Detroit, has bi-weekly paychecks, getting taxes screwed up, and yet they still working on student loan. Sorry, I clicked on something. On student loan debt of 60,000 K off of 60,000 K a year. Yeah, and 60K ain't nothing necessarily sneeze at, right? It's nothing to necessarily sneeze at. You in the top third of income earners at 60K, right? Our concepts of money and the black community is all type of screwed up, especially online. The online black community, man, y'all would have, if I was an alien that came on the planet Earth and I just looked online to see what black people were talking about, but the way y'all talk about money, I would have thought every black person was a millionaire, at least. Because the money that we scoff at online, oh, that ain't nothing. That ain't ish. I'm like, what? And then when you know most people don't make that, especially within the black community, you're like, so what are y'all talking about? And one of the drawbacks of the late great, right, Kevin, is like, we know why he said the 100K. Over here, we get it. But people took that and ran so far with it. Like, the people that were delusional just became even more delusional. Like, bro, do y'all realize how rare 100K is? Although I did see something recently that said like a third of men make $100,000 a year or more. And I was like, something ain't right. I'm telling y'all, like, something's funny with the numbers. That's why I never agree with Jay-Z and all those other people that say men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Something's funny with the numbers, because over the past couple years, I didn't see these numbers jump in a way. I'm like, wait a minute. 2019, half of American men make 40 grand a year or less, and all of a sudden half of American men are making like $50,000 a year or less. Something not right. Something about these numbers are not right. Right? Let's keep on reading. But yeah, let me finish what I was saying with Detroit's comment. But yeah, bro, the 60,000 ain't nothing to sneeze at. But like you said, they barely paying off these loans and stuff like that, and they making 60K a year. The median household income in America is 67. So let's say inflation, whatever, 70. If you making 60, you not too far away from making the median household income in America by yourself as a black woman. It's another reason to have a man. If he make the same amount as you, y'all 120 a year. That's good money. That is good money. And that's if he make as much. Shit, if he make less, if he make 50, y'all still doing all right. Let alone if he make more than that, if he bringing in 65, 70. But they pride in their ego. They'll just make that 60 by themselves and struggle to pay off everything. Nameless says, your point about income is very accurate, but combined gynometry, Jesus Christ, 1 and 99 is conflated. I just said that before you walked in, Nameless. And I gave you your credit. 1 and 99 is conflated to 50-50, and hypergamy is a formula for, what I'm saying, infinite expectation, scaling, and thusly abysmal satisfaction. The abysmal satisfaction part. The abysmal satisfaction part. And that, I feel like I'm in and I did say feel, right? Where's Sheed when you need him? But I do feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place. Because it's not you want people to temper this thing, women. But at the same time, you're not telling them to be aspirational and maybe not encourage and push their man, right? But there's a thin line between encouraging and pushing your man and then being delusional. Like the sister that called in the Kevin show, and then like she had broke up with her boyfriend that was making like $70-something thousand a year because he wasn't making more. Like this what? Right? But that's what we're talking about. Like that's where people are. They're gone. Women, they're gone. And then they have content creators, Real Talk with Yanni, pushing them even further in that delusional direction when it comes to money. Right? And it's speaking right to what you're saying, Nameless. I don't even know what you say to that. That's the level of insanity. To see someone making $70-something thousand a year under the age of 30 and to be like, he ain't making enough. What? First of all, as a single man in America, under the age of 30 and black, man. But social media and these fake reality TV shows got you delusional, right? Don't worry. In a couple decades, you're going to sound like the woman that BGS played, or we were speaking about on Art New Style channel, talking about this transactional relationship, and I just need a man to come in, and I'm willing to have sex with him and whatever. I don't know if I want to have a relationship, but I need somebody now. I need somebody in this house. It sounds funny because you're in your 20s or your early 30s and you don't see that potentially being a future for you. All right. Trell Bentley said FICA and Social Security taxes. Man, bruh, I get direct deposit, duh. I mean, like, we live in the 21st century. I don't even check my taxes, bro. I don't want to be depressed. Right? I know how much I get paid after taxes. It's a flat rate for all the work I do. But I never check to see what my pre-tax income is. I have a good idea of what it is. I've done the math, so I have a good idea of what it is, but I've never actually sat down and did it. The one time I got like a inkling is when I took the loan out for the Z, and you have to link your account to the loan office, right? And then I saw it. I was like, oh damn, that's how much. Oh damn, and like that was the one time I saw it, and I haven't looked at it again, right? So yeah, that FICA and that Social Security, I don't even want to look at it. I don't want to know, right? I'm one of those people, like, if I was to win the lottery, or if I was to build a big business, or like if I was Jeff, I wouldn't be tax dodging. Especially coming from my humble beginnings, I wouldn't be tax dodging. I don't know, like, when you get to that big of money, tax dodging to me is like so weird. Like your children, your grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, everybody straight for like forever. Everybody straight for as long as there's human beings on the planet, your family is straight. Ask Mitt Romney. Ask Anderson Cooper. Ask Mitch McConnell. Ask Barack Obama. Right? Ask the Bushes. Ask them. Right? Ask the Kennedy family. Right? When you make a certain, you just good forever. Maybe y'all won't be the wealthiest people forever, right? But your family, your lineage, unless you have a couple of generations of the dumbest people ever, it can't just be one. Not when you got Jeff Bezos money. Your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids have to make a concerted effort to blow that money for your great-great-great-grandkids not to feel that. But anything short of that, nah. Y'all are good. All right? I'll pause right there. Let's read the next comment. Jadzilla said math is math. Calculus said oh crap. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. I almost deleted your comment, Jadzilla. My bad. Pressed the wrong thing. Math is math. Calculus at MIT is the same calculus at a state school. Fact. Student loan, Kareen says student loan debt free, but I know she meant black woman. I'm a black woman, so I have credit debt. I'm guilty, LOL. We know. Look, we know you be trying to be fashionable in New York. We know you got to keep up with the Joneses. We know you got the girl Tim boots. Messing with you, Kareem. With the high heel girl Tim boots for the wintertime. And some overly expensive Ugg snow boots. DeVito, for real, people think everyone make 100K. I mean, The you know, I wasn't trying to make this a Kevin show, but when Kevin had that episode and he was asking the women how much they think men, the average man, make a year, and all of them were coming on some 70, $80,000 a year thing. I'm like, where? And I did have a conversation. I was in the comment section for one of the sisters that's on YouTube, and in her comment section we got into a conversation of money, and I said the median income for men is 40 grand a year. And I blew the damn comment section up. The level of denial, and when I say like denial, I mean like a rejection of what I said, a complete rejection. And one of them had the gall, the temerity, the ovarian fortitude to actually check it, and she came back in the comments and she was like, I think he's right. The median income, household income is 67. I can't marry no man that make 40. And she just went like, she admitted that I was right, and then she went like berserk after the fact. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a black man born and raised in America. I've been around other black people my entire life. Yes, I mingle and I talk with and I chill with other people, other races, other ethnicities. I want to know, when did black people become so delusional about money? Namely, black women. Like, what did you see and experience that I didn't see? And I'm like, I'm open to, maybe you traveled, maybe your family was one of those people that y'all, upper middle class, or y'all like one of the kind of old money of ADOS, or your people are from the continent or from Haiti or Jamaica, and y'all came with some money, or y'all people got some business, or y'all got a couple of y'all in politics or whatever overseas, and y'all, that's how y'all got y'all thing going, and yeah, you live here. But short of that, I don't know what people are talking about, right? It was so fascinating to watch just woman after woman come on saying they think men make on average 70, 80 grand a year. Why? Like, you're missing the mark by $30,000 to $40,000. You're doubling the mark. That's insane. That's, which, by the way, also speaks to the fact that they think they're doing you a favor by only asking, air quotes, asking 40 grand a year. Right? I said it once before. I think Kareem might remember when I said that what they telling you is the entry fee now is $100,000 a year. That's what women are telling you. The entry fee for relationship now is $100,000 a year. Yeah, they might have sex with you because they think you're cute. Yeah, they might have sex with you because they heard some rumor about you being Mr. Third leg, excuse me. Yeah. Right? You might get an oops baby out the deal, but what women are telling you now is for them to take you seriously, and not all women are saying this. I'm not going to put a most on it. I don't know yet with that one, but not all women are saying that. But a significant chunk, it's up to you to decide whether it's most or not, are saying entry point for relationship and for me to take you seriously is $100,000. And that's insane. So yeah, they think they doing you a service by saying that, because they think the average income is 70 and 80 grand. So I ain't asking you for that much more over average, right? Better Use says numbers lie all the time. Present them out of context and you spin a narrative. Exactly. DeVito, Nameless says, DeVito, on social media, the melanated sector, 45K a year is perceived as abject poverty and laziness. Bruh, Nameless, you couldn't be more right. Which is insane, by the way. In the grand scheme of things, because we got people running around in America that's worth $200 billion. Yes, in the super grand scheme of things, 45K ain't nothing. But once again, that's more than half of Americans make. So we scoffing at something that is more than what half of Americans make. Because once again, we're delusional about money and numbers. Indigo Flow says, numbers get manipulated all the time. Corinne says, I wish I had no debt, make more than that's, but these CC cards, LOL, got caught up in keeping up with the Joneses. Bruh, me too. I did too. I did too. And I completely stopped shopping. I stopped going to the mall, right? I'm a millennial. I got caught up in it too. Told y'all I used to be a dandy. Still like buying nice stuff occasionally. I stopped going to the mall I was going to the mall every pay period. Every single pay. Y'all should have never complimented me about how I dressed, because it was like, oh, Z dressed nice. Oh, okay, that means I got to keep on going. I got to maintain that. And what I do, because I didn't go into too much debt, once I realized it, I stopped going to the mall, I stopped shopping so much, and I started paying my stuff off. And it was pretty much that simple, right? It wasn't no crack thing where I had to like wean myself off and I'm scratching, you know. No, it wasn't all of that. I just stopped going to the mall every pay period, every 2 weeks, right? And that's all it took. But yeah, keeping up with the Joneses, that's what they call it, lifestyle creep. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Judge Zilla says, better you. That is why statistics is required for classical education. Agreed. Agreed. Nameless says, 100% of people get to be conflated to 1% if one person can do it. It's absolutely mind-blowing. But isn't that, you gave that example, Nameless, when you were speaking to the brother and you were trying to say, like, I'm fit, I know how old I am, look, like my body fat is this and that, but that can't be a thing for everyone, right? And I agree with you 100. Like, I know my position. Like I said, I'm in the top third of income earners in America. I got super lucky to have the car I have, right? Even what I'm doing for work, I got lucky, right? Nepotism. I understand. Mr. Z will tell y'all when I'm working hard, because I'll be working hard. But all this, I got it out the mud talk and all this, that's some weirdo stuff to me, bro. That, like, let me get this right. Somebody taught you how to read? No, I'm saying it backwards. No one taught you how to read. You taught yourself how to read. No one taught you how to walk. You taught yourself how to walk, right? You're not drawing on a wall instead of drawing on a table, because no one taught you discipline. And no, we sit down and we take a piece of paper to draw. We don't just draw on walls. No one taught you anything. Nobody taught you how to use eating utensils or none of that. No one taught you how to, potty train is not a thing. So you just poo whenever, you pee wherever, right? That's some weirdo stuff. I agree with you, Nameless. That's, I don't know. The idea that anyone and everyone can be 1%. That goes back to some of the stuff that Jay was saying that I was critiquing. Jay-Z. It's like weird, like, do the 1%, do some of them work extremely hard? Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. A certain level of talent that they helped to foster and they worked on it. Absolutely. But nobody factors in the luck part, the right time in the right place part, the environment part, the certain window part. Like I was saying, me and Black Uru were speaking about. When you look at a lot of those tech billionaires, they're like around the same age. That's a specific window, right? Where tech startups were given that much dividend and all that other stuff. You look at even some of the big time rap CEOs and stuff like that. Particular age group, from Slim to Baby to Jay-Z to Dr. Dre, right? To Master P, a particular age group. Not the rappers before them and not necessarily the rappers after them. That a specific age group. Same thing with tech. Right? Y'all remember when MySpace and Facebook came out, all these companies, these investors were looking for a specific look. They were looking for the Mark Zuckerberg and Tom look. But really the Mark Zuckerberg, they were looking for the Mark Zuckerberg look. That's why what's her name got to play they ass, right? I forgot her. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The one that just got tried and convicted, and I think they're gonna I don't know if they did the sentencing thing yet. I think so, right? I want to say Amy Holmes. Is her name Amy Holmes? I can't remember her name. Right? She ripped off Steve Jobs' whole look. She even fake did the deeper voice thing. But because she knew there was a particular look that they're looking for the female version of Steve Jobs. And she played their ass. Right? That was my little ramble. Let me continue. Those women I'm talking about is that women that with corporate offices with degrees tells them at least 12 years. Okay, I'm a little lost on that comment. I might have said something that triggered that, and I don't know. Oh yeah. Okay, you mean takes them about 12 years. Okay, I think I understand what you were saying. Yeah. But then once again, you're dealing with a system that bumps women right up to their biological clock. Right up until their biological clock, right? You see that oftentimes with the women that don't get hitched in school, regardless of race. When they come out, if they don't find somebody they really feeling like that in their career, shoot, it'd be a hard go, man. It'd be a hard go. Because now you in your, maybe mid or late 30s, and you have this degree and this money, so you not air quotes settling. All right. All right. There was a clip, one of the sisters played, that's, you know, associated with this space, with a young lady. I think she was 20. And she was like, yeah, well, when I get 40, if I'm still single, my price is gonna go up. And I'm like, oh, you ain't learned. Oh, you ain't learned. My price is gonna go up, especially I'm gonna be more accomplished. I'm gonna have experienced more of the world. Oh, my price is gonna go up. I'm like, oh, she didn't get the memo. Oh, she didn't get the memo. Somebody go talk to that young lady. Right? The video said, I got two brothers that make 100K. They work all the time and have no time for nothing. So I was talking to this was years and years and years ago. I was speaking to an Asian cat that I was working at the law office with, and he was about to leave because he was gonna really buckle down to study for the bar, and he was saying like the law offices and the firms where you walk in the door making $100,000 a year, you're working 70 hours a week plus. You're working 70 hours a week plus. He said, for 2, 3 years straight, you're going to be working 70 hours a week plus you don't got time for nothing. And he was like, well, it's good. I don't have a girlfriend right now. Cool white dude. I mean, I said white dude, excuse me. Cool Asian dude. Actually had the same name as me, my actual real name. Same name as me. Right? And we were having that conversation. I was like, 70 hours plus. So the firms, he's like he said, the firms that you're walking in the door at $100,000+ a year, you're putting 70 plus hours. Those are the firms. Okay, a lot of law offices and firms, attorneys have offices. Duh. But these firms are so big and so cutthroat. Attorneys don't have. You have to be a big boy to have an office. You got a cubicle. Yes, you got Esquire behind your name, and you still have a cubicle. You heard right. All right. Nameless says the hilarity is the expectation is so high they can make 10K a year and believe they deserve a dude that makes 8 times that amount and be serious. Yeah, because this is the blowback of patriarchy, right? I don't have to make no money. I can have no value. Who was it? Was it Bill Burr that was speaking about the Titanic and like how you could be a baller? Like, I'm paraphrasing. I'm completely destroying the joke, but you could be like a baller ass dude on the Titanic, and like some bum ass woman hasn't done nothing for the world, hasn't contributed nothing, haven't done anything except exist with a vagina and some breasts, and you got to give up your seat on the raft or on the lifeboat for her because you're a man and you got to be a gentleman, right? So like that, I mean, that's the other side of the coin, right? Yeah, that's the interesting thing about a lot of these online kind of relationship advice and dating shows and whatever, is you get a smorgasbord of different people that go on, but especially with the women is everybody from, like you said, 10K a year to living at home with their parents to in college, all the way up to maybe really a PhD, maybe really a 80, $90,000 a year sister, all saying they want 80, 90, 100, 120, 150, $250,000 a year dudes, right? So yeah, the 10K chick thinks she's just as deserving for the $250,000 a year dude as the $100,000 a year woman thinks she's deserving of him, right? That's the crazy part. Karine said, right, I work 2 freaking jobs, hardly have time to sleep this day. I want to run from NYC. You better do like the rest of the Caribbeans. You better come down here to South Florida. We got nice beaches, and it's not always hurricane weather, although it's always hot. And you know the hurricane coming from at least a couple weeks out, right? DeVito says the nameless disco. Okay, there's. I'm back. DeVito says the nameless protagonist. To be honest, 45K seems like your failure in the black community, and a lot of us people don't make 50K in our 30s. That's facts. That's facts, right? That's facts. Where, once again, where are all the ballers? Like my title say, boss broke. Or broke boss. Either way. If it says broke boss, I'm going to change it to boss broke. Sounds cooler. Right? You're not even making 50K and you scoffing at somebody that make 45. Shit, you're not even making 30K and you scoffing at somebody that make 45 or 50. Because you subscribe to Cardi B's social media. Right? You subscribe to Diddy. You subscribe to name them. Right? I don't like the disjunction from your actual life to like we all have aspiration. Who doesn't want to live a comfortable life, right? Have a couple of nice things, go places, who doesn't want that? But like for you to be living your actual life of the everyday grind and then be so delusional that you're making some 40 grand a year, 35, 38, 45, maybe even $50,000 a year. And yet like you're talking about other people and about yourself like we're supposed to be millionaires. That's why I keep on saying temporarily embarrassed millionaires, right? Or like you misplaced your $1 million. Like you're a millionaire, but your money's just misplaced right now, right? That's weird. I don't know. That's just weird, bro. The video says most people don't got business like that neither. Everyone on YouTube or social media is makes 100K. I know, bro. It's foolishness. It's just foolishness. Us when you really know the numbers, bro. When you really start getting into this numbers game, and I'm still a baby at this. I don't have a degree at this. I'm just piecemealing things. I'm a baby at this. But once you start getting into this, you realize everybody's lying. Everybody's lying. The handful of people that got it, many of them are playing it down. And then everybody's lying like they do got it. Right? And then even for the people that do got it from social media, that's on social media, they got it from social media. They didn't make no crazy boss moves outside of being YouTube or TikTok or IG or whatever celebrities. Social media influencers or whatever. They got it from social media, but then they start talking like they some big baller boss move dudes. Like, no, stop it. Right? It's just it once again, the disjunction from reality it's insane. I promise y'all get me to the place where I'm some big baller social media guy, I'ma still be talking like this. I'm not talking down to y'all. I'm not speaking like I made some super big boss moves. No, my subscribers got me here. Yeah, right. It's their contributions. I didn't. Yeah, no, I didn't challenge Jeff Bezos to this position. That's not what happened. Right? I wasn't stepping on other people, other big business guys to get here. No. I came here. What Tariq Nasheed say? I came here through a Chris mouthpiece. Right? I don't know, the delusion, man. Kareen said, Mr. Z, you're fair-minded. That's why. Thank you, Kareen. Thank you. No, for real. Thank you for the compliment. Being a billionaire, you are ruthless. You don't think like you. They focus on just getting more and more, period. Yeah, and there's space for that. Society has always had those people, right? And capitalism has allowed for those people to exist more. I'm not actually railing against capitalism for that part. That like it's opened the window for those people because back in the day with kings and queens, you ain't gonna be no merchant this big being this wealthy on the king. Motherfucker can come and take your shit, right? Or you would buy the kingdom from that person or marry your child into that or something or find some way to be a noble and then that's how y'all will funnel your money into that whatever, right? But yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm a little too fair-minded and yeah, no. Like I said before, I think you could get to $10 million without being a monster, right? I think if you're an entertainer, I think you could touch some mills without being a monster. I think you could get some millions. I think you could get 50 some million without being a monster, but 100, I don't know. I don't know if you could hit $100 million without being a monster. I don't care what endeavor you coming from. And a billion, yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see how you touch $1 billion and you didn't do nothing, at least a little shisty or shady, just a little bit. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. There, paying your people peanuts, crushing your competition, buying off politicians, crushing unionizing efforts. All of these count, by the way, right? All of these count as scheming, scamming things you do, right? Lying on the books, tax dodging, right? Chipping your people off of some of their overtime money, all type of things. I don't see how you hit $1 billion and you didn't do any of that. turning a blind eye to illegal immigrants working for you, or any one of those things. You trying to tell me you didn't do none of that, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. Nameless is, like I said, possibility gets conflated with probability, and any talk about increasing probability gets interrupted as excuses, or gets interpreted, excuse me, gets interpreted as excuses. Exactly. So that's where Mr. Z comes in, and I start talking about systems, and everybody starts looking at me like the weirdo lefty, and I'm like, so what your real goal is, and brothers, I gotta be honest with y'all, it ain't only the sisters talking like this. So what your real goal is for you to run into the house and lock the door behind you, and then be HNIC. So you're really complaining that you yourself you're not in these damn their white elite men positions. And for the women, what you're complaining about is that you're not Karen or Miss Ann. Well, we already know that. We talk about that all the time over here, right? Because like Nameless said, once we start talking about increasing the probability and creating a more just and fair system, it's never going to be fully equal. We get that. We ain't trying to create no communist society, but something more fair and just and equal. All of a sudden, people start scoffing at it. Because in their heart of hearts, they want something that's more fair and equal for them, or not even fair and equal, sorry, extremely advantageous for them, so they can run in the door and lock it behind them, and so they can be the only ones that benefit them and their family or friends or whatever, right? And if you want to be that person, that's cool, right? I would rather you admit it, but I know part of the game is like pretending like you don't actually believe in that. I get it. I agree with Nameless on that one. Nameless said, I'm just going to start calling it plantation talk. Bitter Truth said, hell, most of it's tied up in something. Damn, Bitter Truth, I wish I knew what you were talking about. I'm almost certain it's something I said, but yeah. Team Muhahaha. Exactly. Shout out to Sergeant Willie Pete. Right? If you make 50K as a man, you're successful. Especially if you're single. If you're single and you're not living in a major city and you making 50K, boy, man. And you don't have like affinity for like expensive things, or like, you know, being ostentatious. You got a couple of nice things and you're all right, right? You're not trying to buy the latest, newest car and whatever. Yeah, you living all right. You living all right. Better Truth said, girl, your daddy was making 20K. I'm saying, for real. And that we're not saying that there's nothing wrong with being aspirational. I'm okay. Bro, I'm from South Florida. I'm okay with people being aspirational. I actually encourage it in the black community. I just don't like the delusion. And here's the thing. If the delusion would actually equal something, like if I'm calling you delusional and you like, I'm a show Mr. Z, and then I see you in 15 years and you like, now look, Mr. Z, now look what I got. That's a different conversation. But we're in our mid 30s, right? Some of us in our late 30s and early 40s. We've been sounding delusional for 20 years. I promise you, I earn more than a lot of our brothers that would push back on me and I would call delusional. Me and my pessimistic sounding self, I'm saying that because that's what they call me, right? Me and my nihilistic sounding self, me and my defeatist sounding self, that's what they're calling me, right? I promise you I make more than most of those people that would call me that. Why don't I brag about it? Because it still ain't no real money. That's why. And plus I know that's not something to brag about. Even if I did have it like that, I wouldn't be bragging about it. First of all, that's not who I am. Secondly, because I understand money. I understand the pyramid scheme. I understand luck. Right? I understand nepotism. I understand that You got lucky. You in this family. Da da da. When you fell on your ass, that this person looked out, and then yeah, you went from there, and it's all hard work from there. But how did you get in the door in the first place? And then people like you, so people looked out here and there, right? People don't factor that in. That's where you get the I got it from the mud. Okay, yawn. I'm about to end in a minute, y'all. I don't want to step on Raj's toes. He's starting his show, right? Let me read my super chat. Mr. Talbert, I still love it how black women ignore men on or above their level. Sigh. I guess I will move to Miami or open my passport. Haha. I mean, you'll see a bunch of tourists here. You might be able to snatch one of them here, right? I'm gonna make you laugh. You're more likely to snatch a tourist in Miami if you come in with that mindset, Talbert. You're more likely to snatch a tourist here than you are to get a chick from here. The chick from here done seen so much in and out, and done seen so many baller dudes come in and out and whatever, and maybe in and out of her, but so many that she's not impressed. Even if she's living damn near destitute, she done seen so many ballers, she's not impressed. That's the catch in living in one of these type of big cities, is that the women are so exposed, even if they don't, and I'll end with this, right? Tone Talk spoke to this when he was on Zoe Williams' show and they were talking about dating and stuff. And he was saying, like, men, you don't get to date Beyonce. So you never have you might like Beyonce, you might like Kelly Rowland, but most of us never got to date her. And if you piped, you had to pay. So you know where you stand. But because men, we like women, and we like women of variety, we like women of sort. That's why I told y'all I didn't doubt that heavyset sister that said that Usher gave her something. I don't think Usher gave her something, but I don't doubt that he piped. Because men will pipe something strange, even rich men. That's why I used to joke with Charles that don't be surprised if what's his name, Chris Evans, ever really did hit Lizzo. I'm not saying he would, but I wouldn't be surprised if one day we found out he did. Because men will do it. But what does that do to the women's minds? That becomes their bar, especially if she gets in that situation more than once. That's her bar from then on. Right? And that's the interesting thing with South Florida is, like, we still don't got money like that, right? I think I looked up the Miami-Dade County average income or median income. It was somewhere just like the rest of the country, somewhere in the mid-30s or something like that. But we've been so exposed to baller-ass dudes and rich-ass foreigners, right, that it's distorted a lot of our minds when it comes to money. And I would argue that's the same case for a lot of brothers up in that SoCal area, and a lot of brothers and sisters in the SoCal area, and a lot of brothers and sisters in New York, the whole goddamn state of New York, but definitely on that island of Manhattan, right? Oh damn! Let me read my. I'm sorry, y'all, for the super chats. Okay, let me hurry up because I know the brother Roger Report started. I didn't realize I had super chats. I'm moving slow. My bad. Okay, let me hurry up. If this car hasn't sold before it hits 200,000 miles, the asking price is going up because it's accomplished more miles. Right? What type of backwards, right? What's going on, Meech? Thank you, Meech. Black Uru. John Astor, one of the richest men in America, honorably stayed and died on the Titanic as a do-nothing female, were later rescued from tugboats. Thank you, Black Uru. That's my point. And that's my point. That's my point. Exactly. Right? John Astor. I'm going to look him up. John Astor. Right? That's my point. Bro. And here's the thing. Here's the catch. And all men don't even... Yes, we got a problem giving up our lives. We're human. Yes. But for the social contract, we'll be down with it to a certain extent. You know, when obviously the fear that hits you when you're really in that situation. But part of the social contract, we'll be down with it. But y'all done urinated on the social contract. I said urinated. Defecated on the social contract. So y'all better hope ain't no other Titanics happening. Because we're bigger and stronger, and y'all gonna be on that damn Titanic. The boats, the lifeboats ain't gonna have nothing but men and some of our sons and children and maybe our wives, whatever woman is attached to us. But all y'all single women, oh, y'all donezo. Another Titanic happened, and I'm telling y'all this. In the Western world, another Titanic happened, and y'all donezo. That's not even race related. Y'all donezo, because from what I'm seeing, a lot of men are on the same thing. Have fun. Y'all done defecated over the social contract too long and too hard. Haha. Right? So, all right, Charles, you get the final word. Woo! What did I say about a man who makes 50K or more? Charles said, well, I'm a paraphrase because I ain't going to go in like he did, but you better kiss him. Right? You better kiss him. But like I said, Charles, they're delusional. They don't even realize what 50K is. They rather keep on talking crap, living in their parents' house, making $37,000 a year, barely making it with all the student loan debt, than team up with the dude that make 50 and then really build. Not this weird ass build something talk. Go build a family. Go buy a home. Go have some kids. Put your kids through college. And you build that way. Not that weirdo stuff y'all talking about building. Unless you got it. Now, if you got it, that's different. Then I retract all that weirdo stuff I just said. Right? But this entrepreneurial weird talk, this going back to the title, that boss broke talk y'all doing, stop it. Right? And so I'll truly pause right there. Thank y'all for being in. Y'all go check out the Roger Report. I know he's probably starting now. Gonna be a good convo. I'm gonna hurry up and go run and take a shower and go maybe do hanky panky with my girl. And then I will try to be on Roger's show later on too, because I saw what the topic was, and I really want to get my few words in. And y'all have a great rest of y'all day. If I don't pop up on Rod's show, but I should be. I am messing up my entire schedule right now. But yeah, because I should be asleep right now. That's what I should be doing. And thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Thank you, Karine, for being here. I think I saw Toya earlier. Thank you, Toya, for being in here. Or I think she was at maybe on the previous stream. Thank y'all very much. Love and peace in chicken grease. Spain man said Popeye's grease. I saw that comment on the last stream. And I'm out. All right, y'all. I'll pause right there.